You think the war is over. You think peace is on the horizon. But war is never just about the battles. It's about what happens after. It's about the traitors hiding in the shadows, the whispers of betrayal that still echo long after. The last gunshot fades. That's why we're still out here, hunting them across the stars. The ship hums beneath my boots, the cold glow of the holotable casting sharp shadows across the war room. Maps of distant systems flicker, overlaid with intercepted transmissions, red markers pulsing like fresh wounds. "Confirmed," Rains says, his voice taut. "We've got movement. Syndicate channels are lighting up. They're running." I exhale slowly. Good. Let them run. It only means they know what's coming. They told us it ended, that the war had been won, that the last of the Dakfadat's warlords had fallen, their fleets reduced to drifting wreckage in the void. But wars don't just end. Not really. Not when there are still traitors walking free, not when the same corrupted hands that armed our enemies still move in the dark, pulling strings, shifting pieces, preparing for the next conflict before the ashes of the last have even settled. And that's why we're still here, hunting. Across the war-torn sectors of the galaxy, through black market syndicates and corrupted council halls, we track them, the ones who sold out humanity, the ones who profited from our near extinction. I stand on the bridge of the UNS Kraken, watching as the void ahead ripples with incoming warp signatures. They're making a move. Gat's voice crackles over comms, sharp and cold. I tighten, my grip on the railing, eyes locked on the tactical display as enemy markers flicker to life. Then let's make sure they never get another chance. We thought the war was over. We were wrong. It was just the beginning. The void never forgets. It swallows wreckage, buries secrets, and stretches endlessly beyond the reach of history books. But the echoes of war remain, carried on the cold winds of space, whispered in encrypted transmissions, hidden in the silence. Between dying stars, that's where we hunt. The UNS Kraken drifts in high orbit over Vorto, a rogue planet lurking in the dead reaches of the Vorok system. Below, the surface is a storm-choked wasteland, its atmosphere thick with volatile gases that glow violet under the distant sun's light. A planet forsaken by time, but not by those who profit from the desperate and the damned. A perfect place for traitors to hide. I stand near the central console, hands resting against the cold steel, watching as tactical displays flicker to life. A dozen intercepted signals run through our systems, overlapping messages bouncing through relay points. But one stands out, an encrypted syndicate transmission sent just hours ago. Gat's voice cuts through the dim hum of the bridge. They know we're coming. I glance at him. He leans against the comms station, arms crossed, his uniform crisp despite the hours of no sleep. George Gat doesn't need rest. He never has. That's why he's my second. They should know by now, I say, watching as the holomap zooms in on a cluster of structures nestled in the jagged landscape below. A city, or something close to it. Roa, a black market settlement hidden from official charts, crawling with mercenaries, bounty hunters, and the kind of people who thrive in the lawless dark. Somewhere in that den of thieves, our targets wait. Somewhere, in that sprawl of corruption, we find the next link in the chain. I tap the console, bringing up the latest intelligence reports. Leiber and his team are already inside. If the intel is good, the traitors we're looking for have ties to the syndicate running this sector, arms dealers, smugglers, information brokers. They've all got a piece of this mess. Gat exhales, shaking his head. Council scum hiding behind criminals. Why am I not surprised? Because we've seen it before. It's always the same. The cowards, the opportunists, the ones who smile in the halls of power while selling humanity's survival to the highest bidder. They never fight. They never risk their own skin. They just pull the strings and watch as men like us bleed for their ambition. Not this time. Are we green for insertion? I ask. Rains, standing by the ops console, gives a sharp nod. Drop. Team is prepped. Silent entry. No reinforcements unless we call it. Good. This isn't a war zone, not yet. We're ghosts in the dark tonight. I straighten, rolling my shoulders. Then let's move. The descent is rough. The atmospheric turbulence shakes the dropship as we cut through the thick clouds of ionized dust, lightning flashing in the distance like the wrath of dead gods. The pilot keeps us steady, weaving through the worst of the storm, the hull rattling with every shift in pressure. Across from me, Rains and two other operatives sit strapped in, silent beneath their helmets. No one speaks. No one needs to. The mission is clear. Land, find the targets, extract the truth. The comms crackle in my earpiece. Kraken to ground team. You've got movement in Roa. Something's happening. I tap the side of my helmet, adjusting the channel. Define something. Multiple heat signatures moving fast. Syndicate forces shifting position. Either they're onto Liba's team or they're making a run for it. Damn it! I glance at Rains. Change of plans, we're going in hot. He nods, already unbuckling his restraints as the dropship lurches to one side, banking hard toward the outskirts of the settlement. Below, the neon-lit alleys and sprawling trade hubs of Roa stretch out like a spider's web, pulsing with activity. Too much activity. They're clearing out, Rains mutters, watching through the viewport as groups of armed mercenaries move. Between the buildings, crates of stolen goods being loaded onto transports. The rats are abandoning ship. They know, I say, teeth gritted. They know we're here. The dropship hovers just above a rusted landing platform, the ramp lowering as the engines whine against the toxic wind. No time for subtlety. Move! We hit the ground running, weapons drawn, boots striking against corroded metal as we spread. Out, covering the exits. The air is thick with the stench of burning fuel and damp decay, the scent of a place that has never known law, only survival. Roa isn't just a trading hub, it's a fortress of scum, its streets lined with makeshift barricades, its alleys a maze designed to trap the unwary. But we're not unwary, we're the ones who bring nightmares to men like these. Rains gestures toward a side passage. This way, Libert's last location. We move in silence, slipping through the shadows, the distant hum of syndicate ships preparing for takeoff echoing through the streets. If we don't move fast, we'll lose our chance. Then the first shots ring out, not at us, further ahead near the market sector. Liber, I murmur, adjusting my grip on my rifle. Rains catches my eye. Sounds like things went sideways, of course they did. I switched to team comms. Liber, report. Static. Then a voice, strained but alive. Could use a hand, Liber grits out. We made contact. They didn't like the conversation. I motion for the team to push forward. Hold position. We're coming. We reach the market in under 3 minutes, moving through the tangled walkways like ghosts. The scene is chaos. Bodies, mercenaries, syndicate enforcers litter the ground, blood pooling in the cracks of the rusted pavement. Smoke curls from a collapsed vendor stall, shattered crates spilling stolen weapons across the street. And in the middle of it all, Liber stands, blood smeared across his jaw, his team at his back, rifles raised. Across from them, the last of the syndicate forces regroup, their leader, a towering brute with dark segmented armor, snarling orders in a guttural alien tongue. I don't wait. I raise my rifle, take aim, and fire. The first shot catches the enforcer in the side of the head, snapping it back in a spray of dark ichor. Before the others can react, my team is already advancing, precision fire tearing through their ranks. They scramble, some trying to fight, others realizing too late that they never had a chance. The battle is over in seconds. Silence settles, broken only by the crackling of distant flames. Liber exhales, lowering his weapon. Took you long enough. I step forward, scanning the carnage. Did we get him? Liber gestures toward a body slumped against a nearby crate. A gaunt, grey-skinned figure, its elongated skull barely visible beneath the torn hood of its Cloak, the broker, one of the last links in the chain. I crouch, gripping the dead alien's collar, my gaze shifting to the small metallic device clutched in its lifeless fingers. A communicator, still active. I pluck it from the corpse, turning it over in my hands as the screen flickers, a final transmission pulsing through the encrypted feed. 1. Simple message, we have a problem. A slow smile spreads across my face. Yes, they do. The world erupts in fire. Syndicate enforcers open up, their rifles sending burning streaks of plasma across the docking bay. The air vibrates with the impact of each shot, metal screaming as stray rounds slam into the surrounding structures. But we don't stop. Libir cuts right, his rifle spitting controlled bursts, dropping the first enforcer before the others even register the attack. Rains takes left, slipping into cover behind a cargo container, lobbing a concussion grenade that detonates with a thunderous whomp, sending two of them sprawling, and I go straight through the middle. I fire as I move, my boots pounding against the rusted deck, my rounds finding soft spots in their armor. The nearest enforcer lunges at me, swinging a charged blade meant to cut straight through reinforced plating. I twist, ducking beneath the arc of the weapon, and drive my shoulder into his chest, knocking him off balance. Before he can recover, my pistol is against his temple. I pull the trigger. One down. More to go. The fight blurs into instinct. Fire. Move, cover, strike. The enforcers are fast, but we're faster. They have numbers, but we have precision, and one by one, they fall. Within minutes, the docking bay is silent. Bodies litter the ground, smoke curling from shattered weapons. The last enforcer tries to crawl away, leaving a streak of blood behind him, but Lieber steps forward and puts a round in the back of his head. It's over. I tap my comms. Kraken, the bay is secure. Where the hell is my ride? A beat of static, then. Right above you. I look up just as the dropship roars overhead, its engines flaring against the night sky, descending toward the platform. The side ramp lowers before it even touches down, the pilot not wasting a second. Move! I bark, ushering my team forward. Sprint aboard, the ramp sealing behind us. As soon as we're inside, the ship lifts off, banking hard into the atmosphere. Mission accomplished. Back aboard the Kraken, I don't waste time. The moment we step onto the operations deck, I toss the stolen communicator onto the central console. Get this decrypted now. The tech officers move fast, plugging it into our systems, data streams flashing across the holodisplay. Seconds later, one of them exhales sharply. Sir, you're going to want to see this. I step forward, eyes narrowing as the decrypted files unfold before me. Supply chains, payments, weapon shipments, and names. Names I recognize, names that shouldn't be here. I exhale slowly, my jaw tightening. I tap my comms. Patch me through to Chancellor Ludwig, immediately. A brief pause, then a flicker of light as the holographic transmission stabilizes. Ludwig's face appears, his expression sharp, unreadable. Admiral, he says, nodding. Do you have something? I lean forward, my fingers brushing against the console. I have everything. His eyes darken. How bad? I glance back at the data scrolling across the screen, and I say the words I know will change everything. They were never just funding the syndicate. They were part of it. Ludwig exhales sharply. Who? I don't hesitate. Councillor Bragen. Silence. Then, Ludwig straightens, his gaze turning to steel. We'll handle it. No, I say, my voice cold. We will. Ludwig studies me for a long moment. Then he nods. Understood. The transmission cuts. I glance at my team. Liber, Rains, Gat, all of them waiting for the next order. I give it without hesitation. We're going hunting. The hunt begins. The air aboard the Kraken is charged, the weight of revelation pressing against every soul on this ship. We thought we were tracking down remnants of a war long ended, but the truth was far worse. The Syndicate wasn't just supplying. Our enemies, they were working with them. And the ones pulling the strings weren't criminals operating from the shadows. They were men in suits, sitting in the highest seats of power. Councillor Bragan, a name that once held respect. A man who once claimed to uphold the peace, and now a traitor, a coward, a walking dead man. I stand before the holotable, my eyes scanning the decrypted transmission logs. Every shipment, every secret meeting, every payment funneled to the Syndicate. It all leads back to him. He didn't just enable our enemies, he empowered them. Libert steps forward, rubbing his bruised jaw, his voice low. Where is he now? I turn to Rains, who's already pulling up fleet movement reports. His fingers fly across the console, isolating outbound signatures. We tracked multiple ships jumping out of the Vorok system the moment the council session went into recess. Bragan was on one of them. I fold my arms, watching as the display highlights a single ship. And where did he run to? Rains narrows his gaze. A neutral system, no official ports, no security treaties. If I had to guess, he's heading to Syndicate-controlled space. Of course, cowards don't run to allies. They run to the ones they've been paying. A slow, grim smile touches my lips. Then we chase him. The fleet jumps. The Kraken, flanked by 2 escort frigates, rips through the void at FTL speeds, the distant stars stretching into streams of white-hot light. The course is set. An uncharted system near the edge of known space, a place where no laws reach, where criminals thrive without fear, a perfect place to disappear. But Bragan made a mistake. He underestimated just how far we're willing to go, and the bridge. Gat leans back against the tactical console, arms crossed, a slow smirk playing at the edge of his lips. Been a while since we did a proper manhunt. I don't look away from the viewport. We're not hunting a man. Gat raises a brow. No. I exhale. Bragan lost that right the moment he sold out humanity. There's no argument, no hesitation. We all know what this is. This isn't politics. This is war. We drop out of FTL at the edge of the system. What greets us is a graveyard of forgotten worlds. A dying sun casting long shadows over shattered moons. Asteroid fields thick with debris, and a single station drifting in the void. A Syndicate outpost, and the moment we arrive, they know we're here. Proximity alarms scream through the Kraken's bridge as sensor blips flare to life. Multiple enemy. Ships powering up, preparing for a fight. Contacts inbound, Rains reports, his voice steady. Looks like they've got a small fleet guarding this place. And good. I step forward, my eyes locked on the display. Open comms. The channel crackles to life. A voice, slick, confident, trying too hard to sound unimpressed, filters through. UNS Kraken, the voice drawls. Didn't think you'd come all this way just for little old us. I don't waste time. You have something we want, a chuckle. Do I? You'll have to be more specific, Councillor Bragan. My voice is steel. Turn him over and I let your station remain intact. A beat of silence. Then the voice shifts, amusement giving way to something colder. You think you can just make demands out here? You might have won your war, but in this part of the galaxy, you're just another ship with guns. I nod to Gat. Show them how wrong they are. The first shot from the Kraken's dorsal rail cannon punches straight through one of the enemy corvettes, splitting it in half before its captain even has time to scream. The battle is instant. Syndicate ships scatter, breaking formation as our frigates sweep forward, unloading precise missile salvos. Their station-mounted turrets spin to life, unleashing a storm of defensive fire, but it's too late. We're already inside their defenses. Gat's voice rings through the bridge. Turret systems locked, targeting their hangar bays. The Kraken unleashes hell. The station shudders as our cannons tear through its docking bays, igniting fuel lines, sending debris spiraling into the void. Their fighters barely make it out before their launch tubes collapse. The enemy fleet doesn't last much longer. One by one, their ships are picked off, some disabled, some obliterated, some retreating into FTL before they can share the same. Fate. Within minutes, the battle is over. Only the station remains. I tap into the comms again. Bragan, you have nowhere left to run. Silence. Then a different voice. Tense. Resigned. I surrender. I exhale, rolling my shoulders. Good choice. Bragan is dragged onto the Kraken in chains. His face, once polished, once full of confidence, now drips with sweat, his eyes darting from side to side, looking for a way out. There is none. I stand before him, watching as the guards lock his cuffs into place. How does it feel? He swallows. How does what feel? I step closer, voice low. Knowing that you bet everything and lost. He shakes his head, forcing a weak chuckle. You think you've won? I don't answer. I don't have to. Bragan isn't important anymore. What's important is what he knows. The Syndicate didn't just work with him. They worked with others. And if we cracked Bragan, we'd have names, a chain reaction of truth that would unravel everything. Lieber folds his arms. What do we do with him? I hold Bragan's gaze. We take him to the council. His eyes widen. They'll execute me. I tilt my head. Then you'd better start talking. As the Kraken turns back toward known space, I exhale slowly, feeling the weight of what comes next. This wasn't the end, not even close. The Syndicate still exists, the corruption still lingers, and we're just getting started. I turn to the bridge crew. Set course for Earth. It's time the Council hears the truth. Rains nods, inputting the coordinates. The ship hums, engines warming. Gat steps beside me, arms crossed. You think this is over? I let out a quiet chuckle. Not even? Close. As the Kraken jumps into FTL, I let the thought settle. This war was just the beginning, and the real hunt, it starts now. Hey, space travelers, if you made it this far, I want to hear from you. What do you think happens next? Does Bragan spill everything? Or is there someone even higher up pulling the strings? Drop your theories in the comments. And, if you want more, I've got another story lined up for you. Click the card here or check the playlist. Until next time, stay sharp. The air in Roa still carries the acrid scent of plasma burns and blood. The fight may be over, but the echoes of it linger. Liber wipes a streak of blood from his chin, adjusting his grip on his rifle. We need to move, now. I don't argue. The market streets are too open, too exposed. If we stay here, we'll be sitting targets when the next wave of Syndicate forces arrives. But my eyes remain locked on the communicator in my hand, the last transmission still flashing across the screen. We have a problem. Yeah, they do. And they don't even know how bad it's about to get. I pocket the device, turning to Rains. Get the team ready for extraction. We're not staying. Understood. He nods, already moving to relay the order. Lieber exhales, shifting his weight. You get what you came for. I glance toward the lifeless broker slumped against the crates. More than enough. His communicator isn't just a means of calling for help. It's a key, one that might just unlock every hidden syndicate. Operation still in play. If we can crack its encryption, we'll have everything. Names, locations, supply routes. We'll know exactly who's been funding the traitors. And then we'll burn them out of their holes. I tap my comms. Kraken, this is ground team. We have the package. Initiate retrieval. A brief silence, then Gat's voice crackles through. Copy that. Dropships en route. You might want to hurry. Satellites are picking up Syndicate chatter. Looks like they're scrambling their defenses. Of course they are. The moment we killed their broker, every Syndicate leader on this planet realized their time was running out. I tighten my grip on my rifle. Understood. We'll be waiting. We move fast, keeping low through the winding alleys of Roa, avoiding the main thoroughfares where Syndicate patrols are gathering. The neon lights flicker above, casting eerie, shifting colors over the damp streets, but the deeper we go, the quieter it gets. Too quiet. Liber is the first to say it. Feels wrong. I nod. They're waiting. And I don't mean that figuratively. We turn a corner and see them, a blockade. More than a dozen heavily armed enforcers standing in formation near a docking bay, blocking our path to extraction. Heavy rifles, close-quarters weapons, some even carrying energy shields. The ones who didn't flee when we hit the market. The ones who stayed behind to make sure we didn't leave alive. Rains lets out a slow breath. Options? I scan the battlefield, my mind already running through every possibility. No cover, no alternate routes, no way around them. We fight or we die. Lieber, I say, my voice steady. You take right, Rains left. I'll punch through the middle. No hesitation, no doubt. The moment I move, the first shot rings out.